The divorce papers were lying on the table like a loaded gun. She didn't even flinch when I walked in, just crossed her arms and said coldly, "Maybe this will make you take me seriously." Her voice didn't tremble. Mine did. Because I knew what she wanted, not a divorce, just my reaction. She wanted to see me beg, to see fear in my eyes, but that night, something inside me broke. For years, I'd forgiven her lies. The late-night work calls. The perfume that wasn't hers. The way she smiled at her phone, then hid the screen when I passed. I told myself it was stress, not betrayal. Love, not pity. But those papers? They were my awakening dot, so I picked up the pen, signed my name in silence, and slid the papers back across the table. Her smirk vanished, replaced by something I'd never seen before. Panic. She thought she could play me dodge. She thought I'd crawl back. But that night, she lost control of the game she started, and she had no idea what I was about to do next. Because this time, the pain was mine to return. We'd been married for 9 years. 9 years of routines that felt safe, maybe too safe. Every morning, she'd hand me my coffee in that chipped white mug I bought her on our honeymoon. She used to say it tasted better in that one. We'd share quick kisses before I left for work, talk about weekend plans, laugh about silly things our dog did. From the outside, we were the couple everyone envied. We hosted dinners, posted smiling pictures online, and finished each other's sentences. People used to call us goals, but somewhere between all those perfect smiles and planned vacations, I started noticing the distance. She laughed less. Her eyes drifted when I talked. Her phone became her best friend, always in her hand, never face up. Still, I ignored it. I told myself it was just stress, that love goes through phases. I tried harder, surprised her with flowers, cooked dinner, even wrote her letters like I used to. And every time she said, "I love you," I wanted to believe her. I really did, but looking back now, I realized that was the calm before the storm. Because soon, everything we built was about to shatter. It started small, almost invisible. She began working late. Meetings that never seemed to end. At first, I didn't question it. She'd always been ambitious, and I was proud of her drive. But then came the nights when she wouldn't answer my calls, only to text hours later with a vague, "Sorry, busy day." I brushed it off. We all do that, don't we? We tell ourselves not to be paranoid, not to ruin something good with suspicion. But the signs started stacking up. A new perfume, one I'd never smelled before. A sudden obsession with her appearance. The way she'd smile at her phone, then turn it over the moment I walked in. I laughed it off to my friends, saying she was just trying to find herself again. But deep down, my gut whispered the truth. Something was off. I remember lying awake one night, staring at the ceiling, wondering when love became guessing games and half answers. Maybe I was overthinking. Maybe I was losing my mind. Or maybe I was starting to see the cracks in the picture-perfect life we'd been pretending to live. And I had no idea how deep they went. It was around that time she started guarding her phone like it was a secret diary. She'd take it everywhere, even to the bathroom. Notifications went silent. Screen always face down. One night, I walked into the living room and saw her smiling at her phone. That soft, secret kind of smile I hadn't seen in months. When I asked what was so funny, she flinched, then laughed nervously. "Just a meme," she said. But her voice didn't sound like her own. That night, she said she was meeting a friend for dinner, just the girls. But when I called that friend later, she said they hadn't met in weeks. My stomach dropped. Still, I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I started noticing patterns: late-night texts, sudden showers after work events, perfume that wasn't hers lingering on her clothes. My hands would tremble every time I checked our bank statements, seeing charges from places we'd never been together. Every clue felt like a knife, small, sharp, and deliberate. I wanted to believe I was wrong. I prayed I was wrong. But in my heart, I knew I was getting closer to a truth I wasn't ready to face. It happened on a Thursday night. She'd fallen asleep on the couch, her phone still glowing beside her. The screen lit up again, a message preview I wasn't supposed to see. Can't wait to feel you again. My heart stopped. My hand shook so hard I almost dropped the phone. I told myself it had to be a misunderstanding, a joke, a wrong number. But when I opened the chat, the world around me disappeared. Photos, messages, words that once belonged to us now shared with someone else. Her calling him baby. Telling him she wished I'd finally signed those papers. My ears rang. My body went cold. I could hear my own heartbeat pounding in the silence of that room. I looked at her sleeping peacefully, unaware that her entire double life had just shattered in my hands. In that moment, something inside me died. The love, the trust, the man who believed in forever. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just froze. Because that was the night I realized the woman I loved had already left me long before I signed those papers. That night, I stopped being her husband. I waited until morning. She walked into the kitchen, hair still wet, humming like nothing had happened. I'd placed her phone on the table screen unlocked, messages wide open. Do you want to explain this? I asked quietly. Her face drained of color. For a second, she tried to smile, then her lips trembled. That's not what you think, she whispered. But I didn't say a word. I just stared at her long enough for the silence to crush her excuses. Finally, she looked away, tears slipping down her cheek. That silence between us said more than any confession ever could. She knew I knew. And in that moment, whatever was left of our marriage burned to ashes. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I just turned around, walked to our room, and started packing my things. Every item I touched carried a memory, laughter, promises, dreams we built together. All of it now felt like someone else's life. She followed me, crying, saying it was a mistake, that she never meant to hurt me. But the tears didn't move me anymore. They came too late. For days after I left, I wandered between rage and silence. I cried until I couldn't. Then, I stopped crying. Because I realized something: I hadn't lost her. She'd lost me. I'd been loyal, patient, forgiving, and she traded that for lies. The pain didn't fade overnight, but it changed me. I started sleeping better, eating better, breathing again. I thought I needed her to be whole. But the truth was, walking away was the first real act of love I'd ever given myself. I lost her, but I found me. Looking back now, I realize she didn't just betray me, she freed me. For the longest time, I thought love meant holding on, no matter how much it hurt. But real love doesn't destroy your peace. It doesn't make you doubt your worth. Sometimes, walking away isn't weakness. It's survival. Because the moment you stop fighting for someone who keeps breaking you, you finally start fighting for yourself. I used to wonder what I did wrong, why I wasn't enough. But the truth is, betrayal says nothing about your value and everything about theirs. If they lie once, they'll lie again. If they love you truly, they won't make you question it. So, if you're standing where I once stood, shaking, heartbroken, unsure, remember this. Losing them might just be the beginning of finding you. What would you have done if you were in my place? Would you have signed those papers and walked away? Or given her one last chance? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more true-to-life stories about love, betrayal, and strength. Because sometimes, the biggest revenge isn't what you do to them, it's the peace you build without them. I'll see you in the next story, where karma always finds its way.